Abigail Smith, counter-persuasive speech. The National Center for Education Statistics states that in 2017 alone, there were 98,160 traditional schools in the U.S. This is nearly 95,000 more traditional schools than year-round schools in the U.S. The State Board of Education in Tennessee states that if a student is of age 5 by August 15th of that year, then they are required to be enrolled in schooling, whether it be traditional schooling or other means of education. I've gone to school in Florida and in Tennessee, both of which have different school holidays as well as schedules, with Tennessee having more of a traditional schedule rather than a year-round. I am here today to convince you to send your children to traditional schools. This is because they would have a better structured schedule, parents would find easier childcare, and there's less time spent out of school during summer break, during regular breaks, than there is with year-round schools. So, let's examine the first problem. Education Week states that the typical schedule for a year-round school is 45 days instructional and a 15-day vacation with a 30-day summer between the years. Although this may seem pretty structured, the dates of when these breaks occur change by the year, causing issues when it comes to summer jobs for high school students as well as family vacations being planned. These schedules also don't account for an extended period of break that can be used for tutoring and catching up. As with traditional schools, they allow for a longer summer and shorter breaks during the year to allow for summer schools as well as more vacation time. The next issue with year-round schooling is it doesn't allow for easy access to childcare. Jennifer Graves states that as most colleges run on the same school schedules as the traditional schools surrounding them, it's typically easier to find childcare as the college students are off at the same time as traditional schools will be. In turn, this can cause stress on the parents as they might have to find alternatives to having a college student babysit for them. Without these college students, the parents likely have to find more costly means of childcare, or they might not even be able to find any at all of childcare, especially when it's only needed for the short periods of breaks that year-round schooling supplies. The last issue with year-round schooling is the students spend less time out of school. With traditional schools, they receive breaks that they receive a longer summer break that some teachers and students direly need. These breaks are used in order to help prepare for the next upcoming school year, quarter, semester, however the schools break it down. And it allows the students to recuperate from the previous year. In fact, occupational health states a total of 34% of students felt better, able to cope with stressful situations after taking a break. And 47% saw a noticeable improvement in their mental well-being after taking these much-needed breaks. Year-round schooling also doesn't allow much time for teachers to prepare for the following year. It also doesn't allow for much time to review information at the start of each year, meaning once year-round students go back in, they don't have, say, the first month of school to review the information that they learned from the previous year, and they didn't have time for the tutoring, so they might be falling behind and struggling for this next coming year. So, what is the solution to these issues? It's simple. Send your children to traditional schools. In traditional schools, they have a better set and structured schedule. parents will find easier access to childcare, and students and teachers will have more of a summer break to prepare for the next coming year. So, let's take a look at this year's traditional school schedule. At just one glance, you can likely come to the following same conclusions many others have. They have a more structured school schedule, parents are likely to find easier childcare, and they'll have more time during summer break in order to prepare. In year-round schools, as we can see their schedule here, they have less structured calendars. Parents have a hard time finding childcare, and students get more time during the breaks and less of a summer vacation. So now that you know the problem and my solutions, here is what you can do. Send your children to traditional schools. By attending these schools, they will have a more structured school schedule. Parents can find easier and less expensive childcare options, and there's less time spent out of school on breaks and more during the summer. So go ahead and enroll your child in a traditional school. With that, I'll leave you with one final quote from Ivan Fitzwater. "The future of the world is in the classroom, so why not help ensure it's the best it can be?"